Hello everybody, it's Flesson19 and today I wanted to take you through some steps on how you might be able to solve any problems that you are having with Bannerlord. I'm doing this because I have gotten 2 requests for information regarding this just in the last few days since 1.5.8 was released. I did briefly touch on this in a beta brand video. However, I did not go into detail on exactly how to do everything. I'm going to give you a list of things that you are going to run through if you are having a problem. At the beginning, it's going to be a little more situational, but as the list goes on, it will start covering more and more people. And I'm also going to do this in an order in which you should be checking these things. So it's going to be from the easiest and the less chance that it will work to the better chance that it will work, but it's going to take the longest to do. There are a few programs that are highly recommended when running Bannerlord. These files are supposed to be installed by Steam when you install it. However, not always is that done. What you want to do is head to the forums and go to Technical Support, Bannerlord. You want to scroll down to where it says installing missing necessary dependencies. These 4 are supposed to be on your system. Just to verify whether or not they are, you can click on this and it will take you to the link to go ahead and install these. You will want to make sure that is done. They're supposed to be on, but it's not guaranteed. This can help solve certain problems if you do not have these installed on your system. These are recommended by Taleworld themselves, so feel free to go ahead and click on these links and install them. They are 100% safe. One of the biggest problems with graphical issues can be with your shader file. This is one thing that I highly recommend to anybody that is ever having a problem with their graphics. It is also one of the easiest things you can do. If you do not know where it is, all you need to do is just do a search for shader, shader. What you can do is look for it on your system. It should be in your program file somewhere. You want to look under your Steam folder. Then you want to go to Steam Apps, Common, Bannerlord, and here you will see a file called shaders. What you do is you delete this entire folder. Once you've deleted it, you have 2 options. You can either restart the game and it will download it, or you will do another thing by verifying integrity files, which I will go through later, which is what I highly recommend. But that can actually get rid of some graphical issues because that folder does get corrupted from time to time. I normally delete my shader folder and verify my game files at least once a week just to be safe. I have fewer crashes than I say most people do, and people will see this on my channel. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, but that is something that I try to do weekly. Another minor thing is checking your drivers. Now, every system is going to be different depending on what you're running, or you could just have your settings that are in your lower right hand corner that you can click on to check drivers, but you want to check your display and your sound drivers to make sure that they are up to date. If you do not know how to do it, just simply do a Google search for whatever you might be running to try to find out exactly how to do it. So that is something you really want to check from time to time. Always pay attention when your computer pops up and says there's a new driver available, because that is something that Taleworld is always going to ask. Make sure your drivers are up to date, because older drivers can cause a problem as they do get the game closer to live. Checking the integrity of your game files. As I said, this is something that I try to do once a week. It doesn't really take that long to do it, and it's something easy to do if you have something other that you have to do, maybe go to dinner. So have that check every so often just to make sure that nothing has been corrupted. To do that, simply pull up Steam and go to your library. Right-click on Bannerlord to get Properties. Go to Local Files, Verify Integrity of Game Files. As I said, I do that probably once a week just to make sure none of my files have been corrupted. So that is an absolutely important thing to do, is to check that to make sure there's no bad files on your system. There is the potential that the update that you're on right now is just having a problem with your system in general. If that does happen, and this does take a little bit of time to do, one thing you can do to verify that, or if you just don't want to be there at all, is you can go back to an older version of the game. You will once again right-click, go to Properties, and then go to Beta. Under here is where you can choose which one you want to go to. If you are just having too many problems with the beta branch, maybe go back to an earlier version of the game until they get it sorted out. Whether it's something on your end or it's something on Taleworld's end, you can go ahead and wait a little bit to go ahead and let things kind of pan out until you find out exactly what the problem is. But this could go ahead and solve itself. Sometimes it's easier just to back it up for now. And also, if you do go back to an older version of the game and it does work properly, that's going to tell you it's not a problem on your end, it's a problem on Taleworld's end with the beta branch or that particular branch in general. So you can rule out whether or not it's your problem or it's somebody else's problem. This does take a long time to do, as these patches are very big. However, if you do move back and find everything is fine, that can go ahead and tell you it's not my problem. One thing you will run into is there's a lot of times your save files will not be compatible going backwards. That is why I always highly recommend that you back up your save files when a new branch comes out. I do that every time, just in case for some reason I need to go back. I always have an older version. All you have to do is go into Bannerlord's directory, copy the saved game files, and then just rename them to whatever branch is working perfectly and save it to your desktop. That way, if you ever need to go back, you have those files available. The absolute last resort is uninstalling and reinstalling the game. This is something I don't encourage people to do a lot. If you have the time to do it, go ahead. It takes a lot of time to do. However, if nothing else has worked and you're just not getting information from Taleworld, then you can go ahead and uninstall and reinstall the game. It most likely is not going to work. However, there is an off chance that it just is something wrong, but I feel like verifying integrity files will do the same thing as uninstalling and reinstalling the game. And that is why I put that as the very last resort. Most of the time, these are not going to work for you. There might only be a 10% chance that these things could actually help benefit you. However, there is that 10% chance that it might do it. And taking a few moments or maybe 15 minutes to run through some of these might actually save you days or hours worth of work if you decide to go ahead and do something else. So these are not always going to work for you, but these are good things that you can go ahead and troubleshoot right away before you have to worry about getting to those last drastic final steps. I certainly hope this worked for somebody. These are things that I have talked about before, and I finally wanted to compress it all into one video. So I hope at some time this might help you out. As always, take care, and thanks for watching.